Two poems. What are you doing? You can't hear me?
Oh, Dallas.
Dallas, sorry.
Dallas.
I'm blind.
It's okay.
He was going. I was like, what? I'm using the mic. You can't hear me? What? I'm sorry. Dallas.
You did.
I'm not gonna play with it.
Okay. This poem is dedicated to a friend. He passed away a few months ago. His name is Clinton Powell from Savannah, Georgia, and just one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. I'm not sure if you've been around a lot of poets, just artists in general, but we have a tendency to be somewhat self-centered. I know it's hard to believe, but we sometimes have an agenda, and you need to have that in order to be successful sometimes. We have a lot of artists here tonight who you have an agenda, you want to be successful, but they also give back. We have Taryn, I've done workshops with her, I've done workshops with her here. We have a lot of people who actually want to give back. But this is a gentleman who was just selfless in what he to Jacksonville every year except for last year. And I didn't know why, but obviously it was because he was sick, but he didn't mention it. So this is called The Sway of the Skinny Man. He was a poet as well, and he always did a poem called Hug a Skinny Man. So that's why it's called The Sway of the Skinny Man. I'm going to do two poems. The second poem is a little more uplifting, but this is a poem that took me a while to write. I wasn't sure what I wanted to say. It's not completely finished, but it's something that I just want to get out there now to see, how it sounds and how it feels as well.
Speak, poet.
Will you get on the mic? Will you get on the mic for me? Thank you. What attracts the planets to the sun? Scientists say gravity. I think the more believable answer to be the magnetism produced by the swaying of the hips of the skinny man, Clinton Powell. First of all, allow me to apologize for the appearance of this poem. It was better clothed than my head, and the nakedness of open spaces wrinkles its appearance. But the purpose of this moment steadies even the shakiest of hands, so we buck up. I suspect that on the day you were born, the doctors mistook your sway for a newborn baby wriggle. You'd been perfecting it in your womb. Even back then, you believed that you could not remain idle for very long. 9 months was much too long. There was purpose in every moment, every sway. Up all night, sleep all day, kind of baby. Even back then, you were burning the candles at both ends. Explains your light. Shining through in a tunnel of confusion called life. The lighthouse at the steps of Savannah, swaying your light. Welcoming vessels into your arms, embracing lost souls, providing better direction to their voyage, amending their traveler's log, reiterating that there's no shortcut to getting through this life. The only fee you charged was a word of advice. Hug a skinny man. Thank you, love too. Paying it forward, I suppose. And just like the blind sheep recognize the footsteps of the shepherd, the planets know the rhythm of your sway. They act accordingly. They go from at ease to attention, and then align themselves in the order you prepared. Yet you allow the sun to take the credit for your work. Brilliant. Such a selfless man you are. And just for that, I'll admit to you that I have amended my previous thoughts. I do believe in an afterlife. I have to. I need another opportunity to dance with you. When you arrive, will you come down from the table of kings, or will you turn me away? Because I have not mastered the sway. Teacher, hug me. Whisper the long version of your notes on the sway. Take half of the weight of my heavy heart, throw it in the wind, see if it follows you to the heavens or falls in line in a planetary system with the rest of your students. Back up, girl. I said two. I haven't performed in a while. She's just gonna cut me short. Hell no. She's talking about I kicked her in the butt. She didn't keep me in line. You didn't hear the whining. I want to hear it again, Smart. Shit. That's why I don't answer your calls. Okay. And she did answer my calls. Okay. I'm better now. She's better. I'm still trying to figure out why. Okay. This poem is called Strike Back. It's a poem dedicated to young women of all ages. This poem is dedicated to young girls who write poetry in order to bear their minds, to make room for new perspective, and bear arms that embrace features yet to be seen in the media. Young women who have to be talked down from the edge of disparity to begin to wear a new layer of optimism. Princesses whose diaries are mission statements to happiness incorporated. They want you to see that they are geisha girls, black-faced to discrimination, back spinning to their own rhythms to help cleanse these muddy thoughts. Queens on the back of elephants, marching to a destination that they are creating in their own minds so that they can testify to their diary every night that they will not be an exception. They will embody excellence to rule the kingdom of I. Every night she'll transcribe her life experiences through screams, tears, anger, using it as a conduit to help stretch her mind and body so that later in life she will not have to bend to the inflexibility of life. Stand tall, young women. This is merely your infancy. This poem is dedicated to young girls who fear big words, so they use vocabulary as counterterrorism to help chauffeur them to their dreams. Young girls who fear big words, but not for lack of enunciation or definition, but because of the drug of ignorance being pushed by their kinfolk. So they use a dictionary as a backrest every night and ingest 5 new words a night. Host keg parties of Scrabble to help unravel the mummies stuck in conundrums, to be able to write dialogue on the need for the mummification of the dumbification of the new age woman. This poem is my diary for girls who sit and gaze in fields of dreams. But remember, they are still that queen marching on that elephant to that destination. See, this is merely adolescent foreplay to a manifest destiny. Because in 2011, women will begin to live in the bliss of now. We will pack down our weapons of mass destruction, which is our fear. We're creating a new culture, a new couture. Instead of carrying purses, we're going to carry empty duffel bags. Pour the contents of our souls into these bags. Use outgrown emotions as the straps of these bags. You see, these bags allow us to grip something we are forced to let go. So we claim the feelings of uselessness and pain and inadequacy, and then move on to another catastrophe. Now known as a poetess, we drink from the fountain of life and lift mics from stands and be able to develop a stand to help levitate hidden emotion and sing, so that we can write our own biographies, so that our accomplishments and life will no longer be considered a fable. Women will begin to recreate a time in their mind when they wanted to be somebody else. But as they flash back to reality from that moment of clarity, they listen to themselves unknowingly hum to their own cadence. The rhythm section will undoubtedly be conducted by a mental swagger that resides in the kingdom of I. Right there.